on, guys? Zeb back with another video, and today we will be going through my entire wrestling action figure collection. And yeah, not really much else to this. This is the 2024 Zeb Burleson collection video, review thing, whatever you want to call it. And if you guys want to be counting, that would be really helpful, because I don't know if I shot it over a few for how many I think I have. I think I have like 152 or something like that. But if you want to count, guys, make sure to leave it in the comments how many you counted. But without anything else said, let's get into the figures. The first figure is a Elite Ronda Rousey. Next up, the Defining Moments Elite John Cena. Right there, pretty cool figure. We have the Elite 102 Chase Austin Theory. Pretty cool right there. We have the Legends Series 15 Kane right there. We have the Ruthless Aggression Ultimate Edition Rob Van Dam right there. Next up, we have Elite 76, The Fiend Bray Wyatt. Next up, we have a basic, the first basic, Damien Sandow right there. Actually, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There we go. That's better. Next up, we have the Elite 85 Bray Wyatt. Pretty cool right there. Next up, we have the Defining Moments Elite CM Punk right there. Next up, we have the Top Picks Elite Logan Paul right there. Next up, we have the Best of 2014, I think, Basic Undertaker right there. Next up, we have this Hangman Adam Page Elite right there. Pretty cool figure. Next up, we have the Elite Series 99 Matt Riddle. Next up, we have Samoa Joe Survivor Series 2020 Elite. The blue and the black right there. Pretty cool figure all around. Next up, we have the Defining Moments Elite LA Knight. Yeah. Right there. Next up, we have the Superstars Ultimate Warrior in the purple right there. Next up, we have the Ultimate Edition Series 11 Undertaker right there. Next up, we have a basic. This came with the Wreckin' 4-wheeler Big E right there. Next up, we have this basic Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him. That's a pretty cool figure right there. I think it came in a 4-pack from about 8 years ago or so. I'm not really too sure about that. Next up, we have the Ultimate Edition New Generation Arena Macho Man. I just got this figure today. I am recording on Christmas right now, but I'll probably have to record some more tomorrow because I'm definitely not going to get all this done in one night. Yeah, right there we have the Ultimate Edition Macho Man. Next up, right here, we have the Andrade WrestleMania 37 Basic right there. Next up, we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Elite Seth freaking Rollins right there. Pretty cool figure. Next up, we have the Greatest Hits of Series 2 Undertaker. This is based off the Hall of Champions right there. Right here, we have the Ultimate Edition Series 14 Jeff Hardy right there. Next up, we have, I just have them all in a bin behind me. I'm just digging through the bin as I go. Next up, we have the Championship Showdown 2-pack this is Jay Uso. Just looking at these figures, I get them confused. Sorry about that. That's Jey Uso. My apologies. Next up, we have the Masters of the WWE Universe. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat right there. Next up, we have this Jack-specific suited Kurt Angle right there. Pretty cool figure. Next up, we have the Elite Series 93 Seth freaking Rollins right there. Next up, we have the Legends Series 20 Triple H right there. Next up, we have the Braun Strowman Basic. This was one of my first ever basics right here. Pretty cool figure. Next up, we have the SummerSlam Basic Jeff Hardy. Another one of my first ever figures in general, actually. Next up, we have, right here, the Legends Series 9, I think, Undertaker. Right there. Next up, we have another Masters of the WWE Universe. Macho Man Randy Savage right there. Next up, we have Elite 110 Elton Prince. I think that's Elton Prince. I get them confused. And I think this is Kit Wilson, Elite 110 right there. So let me know if I'm wrong. I might be, but I'm not sure. But anyways, next up we have the WrestleMania 37 Elite Bill Goldberg right here. Pretty cool figure. I mean, everybody has it at this point. I mean, come on. If you do not have that Goldberg, then something's wrong with you. No, I'm kidding. I can see why some people don't like that figure, but, I mean, I like it. It's just everywhere. Next up, we have the Target exclusive Samoa Joe AEW figure. This figure is just terrible. I don't like it at all. Next up right here, we have this Top Picks Seth Rollins. This is from, like, 2018 or something, 2019. Next up right here, we have the Elite, I think this is another Top Picks, Roman Reigns right here. I took the vest off, and it looks like he has a giraffe neck. I don't know exactly why. But next up, we have the Elite 78 or 79, I think, Big E. It's one of those two, I think. Next up, we have the Elite Series 76, Miss Elizabeth, right here. Next up, we have, I think this is Matt. I think Matt has the lighter hair, and Nick has the darker hair. I'm not exactly sure about that, though. Next up, we have the Elite Series 67, Randy Orton right here. Next up, we have the Rock Collector's Edition for Elite, like, 69 or something. I forget which series that is. Next up, we have a WrestleMania Basic, Shawn Michaels right here. Okay, guys, so as you can tell from the outside, it is the day after Christmas, so the next day. But we're still going to continue this right now. So the next figure is going to be Top Picks Roman Reigns. Here, let me zoom out. Top Picks Roman Reigns. Ultimate Edition Randy Orton. Not Ultimate. AEW Street Fighter Kenny Omega. Sami Zayn Elite 102. Ruthless Aggression Series 2 Rob Van Dam. And I'm probably going to have to end up putting all these on the floor, just like straight up, because my ring is honestly running out of room very, very, very quickly. Next up, we have the Velveteen Dream right here. Elite 67, I think. Supreme Walmart exclusive Kenny Omega. Basic Rock. Jack Specific Rob Van Dam. Basic Damian Priest, even though this is clearly Damian Perest. The head scan is absolutely terrible. That's why I call that figure Damian Perest. We have the Maya Via Legacy 3-pack Rock. We have the Ultimate Edition Brock Lesnar Ruthless Aggression. We have a Elite Top Picks AJ Styles. We have Legends Series 14 Mean Mark Callis. Right there. That honestly is kind of an underrated figure. I don't use it much, but just it feels pretty good in hand, in my opinion. Hall of Fame Macho King. Elite Series 104 Solo Sikoa. Elite Top Pick Seth Rollins. First time in the line, I think, basic Omos. And no, it's not plain. It has an Omos logo on the back right there. Next up, we have Survivor Series 2020 Elite Kane. Next up, we have Hollywood John Cena. This would be a pretty good promo Cena if he had the jorts, which I don't know. I might do something with that, but I like to keep my figures original, so I'm not too sure. Elite 91 RVD. Basic The Fiend Bray Wyatt. Top picks Roman Reigns. Don't ask how many top picks Roman Reigns I have, because I seriously don't know. Legend Series 13. I just said Roman Reigns. Triple H. I'm so used to saying Roman Reigns. Ultimate Edition Series 4, Brock Lesnar. This is the re-release, and my camera just fell, but that is okay. Again, guys, I have a bin behind me, and I'm just getting, like, handfuls of figures at a time. Right here we have Legend Series 15, Lex Luger. Ultimate Edition Series 10, The Rock. Jack Specific. Deadpool attire, basic Seth Rollins. Elite Series 7 Triple H. Legends Series, I just said Legends. Elite Series 93 Ricky Steamboat. Not the Chase, but hopefully I'll get the Chase one day. Basic Otis. Basic Drew McIntyre. Right there. They always reuse that same head scan. I just don't like it. I don't know why. Next up, we have Top Picks Elite Solo Sikoa. Pretty similar to the Elite 104, just with obviously a better torso. Jack Specific Ted DiBiase. Thank you, Rewind. Elite Series 70-something, Kofi Kingston. Like 78 or 79, I think. Ultimate Edition Series 17, Seth Rollins. Obviously, it's not the re-release. Elite Series 105, Carmelo Hayes. Elite Best of Pay-Per-View, Toys R Us exclusive, I think. CM Punk. Right here. Ultimate Edition Series 21, Cody Rhodes. They're pretty good figure in that Cody Rhodes. Next up, the Decade of Domination Big Show. Elite Series 79, I think, Bailey. Or maybe Elite Series 80, I don't know. Jack's Big Show. I know LWC is going to be all over this one. Elite, or not Elite, Basic AJ Styles. Right here. Target exclusive Collector's Edition. Iron Sheik or Colonel Mustafa, I think. I forget what his name is. Elite Series like 53 or something. Alberto Del Rio. Right there. Okay, guys, so we did, unfortunately, have to get rid of the ring. Because this, I'm not even like a quarter of the way done. This was maybe like 100 figures or so. And the ring was already overflowing, so there's no way I could have just kept the ring for that long, but we're still gonna keep going anyways. So, oh my gosh. I just caused this Cena to have a rattle. I was getting him out, bro. Now he has a rattle. Anyways, we have this basic John Cena. Basic Adam Rose. Ultimate Edition, The Rock. Unrivaled AEW, I forget her name. Riho, I think. Elite Series like 53, Kevin Owens. Ultimate Edition Series 17, Andre the Giant. This came in a 2-pack. AEW Unrivaled, Hangman Adam Page. The skin tone on that is way too pale, in my opinion. Bobby Lashley, Elite 89. Elite Series 102, Gunther. Elite Series 90, Jey Uso. Right there. That was my only Jey Uso for quite a while. Not gonna lie, I paid like $60 and then I got another one for free that I tried to turn into a custom, but now I'm just gonna like make it into a Jimmy Uso or something. Next up we have Elite Series 101, Cody Rhodes. Elite Series 105, Scott Steiner. Basic SummerSlam, Scott Hall. Basic Stunno and Stun, Kevin Owens. Elite Defining Moments, Rob Van Dam. Elite Series 83, Drew McIntyre. Ultimate Edition Series 16, AJ Styles. Basic Mia Yim, or Michin, whatever you want to call her. Next up, we have the WrestleMania 36, I think. Elite Matt Hardy. Or 35 Elite, I can't remember. Next up, we have Braun Strowman, SummerSlam Elite. Next up, we have Jimmy Uso. I think this is Elite 95, if I'm not mistaken. Top picks, John Cena. Right there. Basic Championship Showdown, Jey Uso. That came with Roman Reigns. Ultimate Edition, John Cena. Right here. Pretty cool Ultimate Edition right there. The skin tone might be a little bit off, but still, pretty good figure. Basic Andre the Giant figure right there. Let's see. Holy crap. Elite Series 75, I think. I forget. James Ellsworth. I forget what series. Jack Specific Edge. I really like this attire. Don't like the head scan, though. Ultimate Edition Series 20, Roman Reigns. This horrible John Cena. Top picks, Randy Orton, that shelf warmed at Walmart for literally ever. Defining Moments, Mankind. Or Mick Foley, whatever you want to call him. Supreme, CM Punk. Got this one from my good friend LWC. Ruthless Aggression Series 2, Booker T. Right there, that's from when he was in the NWO for like that very, very, very short period of time. Right here we have the Elite Series 89, Damian Priest. Basic Edge, Earn Your Scars. I like the shirt. Their articulation's terrible though. Elite Series 87, Braun Strowman. Ultimate Edition Series, like, 2, I think. Shinsuke Nakamura. Basic Series 141, Chase, LA Knight. Elite Series 83, King Corbin. Jack Specific Deluxe Aggression, John Cena. AEW Unmatched Series 2, Sting. You can tell this has had some play damage over the years. Ultimate Edition Series 15, Brock Lesnar. Ultimate Edition, Logan Paul. Elite Series, I don't really know, Roman Reigns. It's an Elite, I know that. I just don't really know which figure that is. I like the figure itself. The head scan, though, not really for me. Definitely not. Elite 110 Chase. Butch, or Pete Dunne, whatever you want to call him. Elite Xavier Woods, right here. Not exactly sure what series. Basic Stone Cold Steve Austin, right there. Elite Fan Takeover, Adam Cole, baby. Booker T, Elite, or Jack Pacific, sorry. Roman Reigns, Stretchy Guys. I'm not sure what that series is called. Right here we have Basic Luke Harper, right there. Got that at the flea market. Basic Series 132 or something. Hulk Hogan, or 142, I mean. I think it's 142. I'm not entirely sure about that. Correct me in the comments if any of you guys know. I don't really keep up with the Basic Series. Top Picks Elite, John Cena. Elite, I think this is either the WWE Network line, or actually, yeah, the Network Spotlight line. Ricochet, Elite right there. Jim the Anvil Neidhart Elite. Not sure what series. Dominic Mysterio Basic. Unrivaled Walmart exclusive, Chris Jericho. Unmatched, or actually not unmatched, Sting Supreme, right there. Elite 84, Jeff Hardy. Basic Daniel Bryan. Basic Drew McIntyre. This is a really good promo, Drew. Next up, let me get another handful of figures. Elite Series 98, Big E. I think it's Elite Series 98. Unrivaled Series, like, 4 or something. I don't know. Christian. Basic Undertaker that came with the Slam Cycle. Build-A-Figure, Paul Ellering. John Morrison. Survivor Series 2020 Elite. Basic Jeff Hardy. Elite 82, John Morrison. Basic Top Picks Riddle. I only got it because it was like $5 at Walmart. Elite Series 104 Chase Braun Breaker. Shout out to my boy LWC for that one as well. Elite Series 88 MVP, I think. I think it's Elite Series 88. Let me get another handful of figures right here. Alberto Del Rio Basic. Not Ruthless Aggression. Best of Attitude Era Elite Rock. You can see the box right back there. Samoa Joe Elite. Right there. Not sure what series. I think this is a Walmart exclusive MJF. Got this one also from LWC. Right here we got Brodus Clay Basic. I think that's his first ever figure, if I'm not mistaken. Right here we have SummerSlam Elite AJ, or not Elite, Basic AJ Styles. They need to make this an Elite form. I would cop that instantly. Elite Legends Series 17 AJ Styles. I think that's Legends Series 17. I'm not too sure. Next up, let me get another handful of figures. We got Flex Force, or I don't know if it's Flex Force or what. CM Punk. It's like a talking Flex Force. Elite Series 2, Randy Orton. Elite Series 97, King Woods. Basic Dominic Mysterio. I think that's a Top Picks. Next up, we have Finn Balor Basic. Right, not Basic, Elite. Elite Series 107, Finn Balor. I cannot talk. Elite Series 85, Undertaker. Basic, Championship Showdown, Booker T. Basic, The Miz. This was like my second ever figure. Or like third ever figure. Basic, James Ellsworth. Right there, let me get another handful of figures. Sorry if I can't speak English today. I'm just kind of all over the place right now. Got, this is either Diego or Fernando, I think, were their names. I forget. Got that in like a 3-pack or something. We got Elite Ruthless Aggression Series 1 Batista. We have Omos Elite Series 97. We have Sheamus Basic. We have Championship Showdown Kane Basic. Elite Series 1 MVP. Elite Legends Series 19 or something. Brother Love. Elite Series 70 something. Randy Orton. Ruthless Aggression Series 1 Brock Lesnar. Elite Series 86 Seth Rollins. Right there. Next up we have, let's see, Elite Rusev. Got this also from LWC. Johnny Knoxville Elite 101. Shinsuke Nakamura Elite 81. MVP, the arm tore off. This is another one of those, like, talking. You can kind of hear it. Elite Series 86, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Shield Basic, Seth Rollins. I think this came with, like, a Money in the Bank playset or something. Let me get another handful of figures. Holy crap. Elite Series 108, LA Knight. Yeah. Basic, The Miz. Right there. Basic, Triple H. Elite Series 101, Kevin Owens. Elite, Dolph, or not Elite. Basic, Dolph Ziggler. Basic, Johnny Gargano. Basic, Otis. Right here. Now, I think I only have like one handful more of figures left in here, so yeah, let me grab all these. Basic, Drew McIntyre. Basic, Randy Orton. Basic, Top Dollar. Elite Series 88, Riddle. Unmatched Series 4, Cody Rhodes. Elite 86, The Miz. Elite 80, I was about to say MVP. CM Punk, Straight Edge Society Basic. Next up, we have the WrestleMania 37 Elite China. Next up, we have the Hollywood Series 1 Elite Roddy Piper. Next up, we have the Hall of Fame Tito Santana. Thank you, Rewind. Next up, we have this Jack-specific Triple H right here. Next, we have this Macho Man Randy Savage Elite, or Ultimate Edition. Sorry, I think that's Ultimate Series like 9 or 8 or something. I'm not too sure. Monday Night Wars Series 1, Scott Hall. Defining Moments Elite, Bret the Hitman Hart. Masters of the WWE Universe, Rock. Masters of the WWE Universe, Kane. Jack Specific, Shawn Michaels, right there. Oh, and figures just fell. Next up, we have the Monday Night Wars Ultimate Edition, Roddy Piper. Next up, we have Ric Flair Championship Showdown Basic. Next up, we have the Big Boss Man Basic Championship Showdown. Next up, we have Elite Series 86 Triple H. This is not the chase. Shout out to Prime Time for that one. Next up, we have the Basic Series 98, I think, Undertaker. This was my first ever figure, believe it or not. Next up, we have Ultimate Edition Ruthless Aggression, Eddie Guerrero. We have this Eddie Guerrero Jack Specific right here, which I think that's supposed to be the same attire. Next up, we have Orlando Jordan right here. Next up, we have Mick Foley, Championship Showdown, or Mankind, whatever you want to call him. Next up, we have the Ultimate Edition Triple H right here, the Walmart exclusive Monday Night Wars. Next up, we have the Top Picks Jey Uso. Next up, we have Milk-O-Mania Kurt Angle. I think this is the Milk-O-Mania with the shorts. Next up, we have Jack Specific Super Crazy. Next up, we have Ultimate Edition Outsiders Ringside Exclusive Kevin Nash. Next up, we have Ultimate Edition Series 23 LA Knight. Yeah. Next up, we have a Basic Rock. Just Bring It t-shirt. I think that's a part of the t-shirt series. Next up, we have the Defining Moments Kane. Next up, we have this UFC Brock Lesnar figure right there. Next up here, we have Diamond Dallas Page Elite. Next up, we have this basic Mark Henry. I think that came in a 2-pack with the Big Show or something. Next up, we have Rick Steiner, Ultimate Edition Ringside Exclusive. Next up, we have Scott Hall, Outsiders, Ultimate Edition Ringside Exclusive. Whoa. Next up, we have this basic Evan Bourne. Shout out to Prime Time for that one as well. Next up here, we have Rhino, Jack Specific right there. Next up, we have Top Picks, Seth freaking Rollins right there. Next up, we have Elite Series 1, Rey Mysterio. Next up, right here, I'm getting another handful of figures. Basic Championship Showdown Triple H. Elite Ruthless Aggression, Eric Bischoff. Elite Series 100, The Rock. Ultimate Edition New Generation Arena, Diesel, right there. I'm going to turn the camera over this way just a little bit. My tripod's kind of leaning, so I don't know. Maivia Legacy exclusive, Peter Maivia. Hulk Hogan, Legend Series 21, I think. Basic Triple H Championship Showdown. Hulk Hogan Ultimate Edition. That's the original. Next up, we have this old Jeff Hardy. I'm not exactly sure which brand this is. It's one of those things that go on the entrance stage. You can see by the little metal thing on the foot. But I'm not too sure what company made those. I think it was Jax. I'm not sure. Or Toy Biz. Next up, we have Elite Sami Zayn. I think this was like his second ever Elite. Next up, we have this Triple H. It's kind of like the CM Punk and MVP, but it doesn't talk, unfortunately. Next up here, we have Legends Series 10 or something. Scott Hall. Right there, the Wolf Pack. Next up right here, we have a basic Bray Wyatt. I think that was like his second Elite. or basic, I mean. Right here, we have Elite 106 Chase, Paul Bearer, right there. Next up here, we have Ultimate Edition Series 11, Kane, right there. Next up here, we have Elite Brock Lesnar. I think this was the Beat the Streak Brock Lesnar or something like that. Can't exactly remember. Next up, we have this Elite Cesaro right here. I think this is like Elite Series 23 or something. Shout out to LWC for that one. Next up here, we have this Jax Booker T right here. Pretty cool. Next up here, we have this Heaven and Hell Shawn Michaels Jax figure. The reason why it's yellow is because I guess the paint wore off, the white paint. I'm not too sure about that, but there's Shawn Michaels. Next up, we have the From the Vault SES ringside exclusive CM Punk right there. My only From the Vault figure. Next up here, we have the Greatest Hits Rey Mysterio right here. I think that's Greatest Hits Series 1 based off of Elite something. I don't know. Next up here, we have Ultimate Edition Series 23 Rey Mysterio. Next up right here, we have British Bulldog Championship Showdown Basic. Next up here, we have down. You get the point. Next up here, we have Basic Series 1 Triple H right here. Next up, we have Sheamus Basic right here. Next up here, we have Elite Legend Series 17 non-chase Ken Shamrock. I do have the chase. Right here, we have this Basic Shield Roman Reigns. Basic Tyler Breeze. Best of 2014, I think. Chris Jericho. This is Y2J 2014 right there. Next up, we have Ruthless Aggression Series 1 Shawn Michaels. Here we have Basic John Cena with the camo. I really like this attire. I wish I had this in Elite form. Next up here, we have Survivor Series Elite Bret the Hitman Hart. I think this is like Survivor Series 2021 or 2022 Elite. Next up here, we have Basic Macho Man Randy Savage right here. Next up here, we have Shawn Michaels Entrance Greats Basic. Next up here, we have Jack Specific Mick Foley. Right there. Next up, we have Elite Series 4 Kofi Kingston. Next up, we have Elite Series 1 CM Punk. I do have the shirt. I just don't have it on him right now. Next up here, we have Mark Henry, Jack Specific figure. The singlet or the I forget, bodysuit or whatever is cloth. Right here we have this Basic Dolph Ziggler with the shirt right there. Oh my gosh, my tripod just fell, but it's okay. Right here we have Legends Series like 7 or something Scott Hall. I'm trying to get my tripod back up. There we go. Perfect. Next up here, we have Legend Series 20, Greg the Hammer Valentine. I think that's Legend Series 20. Yeah. Elite Series 99, Boogeyman. Non-chase. I do have the chase to that as well. Right here, we have Basic Paul Heyman right here. Next up, we have this Basic CM Punk. Came in a 2-pack with the Macho Man. Same attire with that Macho Man right there. Different pack though. I think this Macho Man is supposed to be like a lighter green or lighter pink, sorry, or something like that. Right here we have Jimmy Uso top picks. Right here we have this AJ Styles Elite right there. I forget which Elite series that is. Next up here we have Elite Series 45 or something, Roman Reigns. Next up right here, we have Basic Kofi Kingston with the baby blue. I really like this attire. I wish they made it in elite form. Next up, we have ringside exclusive Steiner Brothers, Ultimate Edition Scott Steiner. Next up here, we have Ultimate Edition, or not Ultimate Edition. I cannot speak English today. WrestleMania Elite, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think that's Mania 38 with the Vince Build-A-Figure. Right here, we have Earthquake. Right there, Royal Rumble 2022 Elite, I think. Right here, we have the Ultimate Edition CM Punk. Right there. Next up, we have Ludwig Kaiser Basic. This is the Chase. Next up here, we have Shane McMahon Elite Series 50. This is what some people call a variant. On the variant, the hair is black, as mine is. On the regular, which people say, it's gray. Shout out to my boy LWC for hooking me up with this one. Right here, we have this Seth Cashes In Toys R Us exclusive Seth freaking Rollins. Right there. Next up here, we have the Ultimate Edition Series 23 Dominic Mysterio. Right there. Next up, we have Bobby the Brain Heenan Legend Series 7, I think. Right here, we have Wolverine CM Punk. I know they just recently made another version of this. I think it's the Chase. This is the original. It came with like Ryback and a 2-pack. Right here, we have a Jack Specific Rowdy Piper. Right here, we have a basic Kane. Right here. Right here, we have the Ultimate Edition Chase Yokozuna. Right there. That's a big figure. Right here, we have the Elite Series 81 Rock. I don't like that figure at all. Next up here, we have Chase Legend Series 17 Ken Shamrock. Right there. Next up right here, we have John Cena Basic with the orange. I think that's also the t-shirt series. I'm not sure, though. Next up here, we have $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, Legend Series 20 Chase Elite. Next up right here, we have the Magnum TA Lost Legends Elite right there. Next up right here, we have the Ultimate Edition Bobby Lashley right there. Next up here, we have the Legend Series 11 or 12 Kevin Nash, right there. Next up, we have this basic Macho Man, right here. Next up, we have this basic Championship Showdown, Bobby Lashley. Next up, we have this Elite Series 40-something young Randy Orton figure, right there. Next up here, we have the basic, this came in a 2-pack with CM Punk, Luke Gallows, right there. Next up here, we have Diego or Fernando. I know we put one somewhere, but I forget where. Right here, we have Vince McMahon. This came in a 2-pack with CM Punk, right there. Next up right here, we have this Undertaker Elite Series 27 or something. This is the one that they're re-releasing pretty soon. Right there. Next up here, we have the Ultimate Edition Series 19 Kurt Angle, right there. Next up, we have Jack's Ruthless or Deluxe Aggression. I cannot talk today. Ravishing Rick Rude right there in the green. Next up right here, we have the Big Show Basic right here. Next up here, we have the WrestleMania 37 Elite Edge. Next up here, we have Ryback Elite right here. Or not Elite, Basic. Sorry. That came in the 2-pack with the Wolverine Punk. Now here is the Elite Ryback right there. Not sure what series. Right here we have the Ultimate Edition Target exclusive NWO Macho Man Randy Savage, the Madness. Sorry I'm stuttering so much. I do not know what's wrong with me. We have this basic Big E right here. That head scan is just horrible. Right here we have this Alberto Del Rio. I think this is like Flex Force or something. I forget. Next up here we have this basic rock right there. Next up we have El Torito. I guess this is an elite and a basic. I'm not really sure. But right there it is. Next up here we have John Cena basic. This was my first ever John Cena figure. Next up here we have Hangman Adam Page. AEW Walmart exclusive, I think, right there. Next up here we have a basic Christian in the purple and black right there. Next up here we have Ruthless Aggression Series 4 or 5, I think. I think that's Series 5. JBL. Next up here, we have Nick Jackson. I think Matt has the lighter hair and Nick has the darker hair. Or it might be the other way around. I'm not too sure. Right here, we have Samoa Joe. Elite Survivor Series 2020. Or wait, I already showed that figure. This was in the trade pile. I don't know why I picked it up. Next up right here, we have Rey Mysterio, Jack Specific. This actually used to be my brother's. I don't know why he had it, but it's mine now. Next up right here, we have this basic Seth Rollins in the black and gold right there. Oh, figures are falling. Next up right here, we have this basic Roman Reigns. Thank you, Rewind, for that one. Next up here, we have this John Cena Ultimate Edition Series 22. I do think. Next up right here, we have this Jon Moxley Unrivaled Series 8. Right there. Next up here, we have this basic Finn Balor in the white. I wish they made this in elite form. Maybe someday. Next up right here, we have this Cody Rhodes Supreme right here. This is not the Walmart exclusive. This is the actual legitimate one. Right here, we have the Elite Series 81 Angelo Dawkins. Terrible figure. Next up right here, we have Batista. Right here. This is the original Ultimate Edition. As you can tell by the red, this is the Target exclusive. It took me forever to finally find this figure. Right here, we have the Milkomania Stephanie McMahon. Right here. Next up here, we have the Legends Series 12 or something. Junkyard Dog, right there. Next up here, we have this basic Finn Balor, right here. Next up here, we have this John Cena in the orange and blue wristbands that came with Randy Orton in a Championship Showdown pack, I do believe. Next up right here, we have the Elite Series something, Dolph Ziggler. Next up here, we have Brock Lesnar, Elite Series 30. Next up here, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ultimate Edition. This is the greatest hits and not the original. Next up right here, we have this Jack Swagger. I was about to say Jack Gallagher. Elite right there. That's like Elite 20-something, I think. Next up right here, we have Cactus Jack. Right there. That's a ringside exclusive. Next up right here, we have Basic Series 140, or wait, maybe 151 or something. Cody Rhodes right there. Next up right here, we have this basic Buddy Murphy. Next up right here, we have this Kenny Omega right here. This came with, that's Hangman Adam Page in that Unrivaled 2-pack. Next up right here, we have this Eric Rowan right here. I do really like this figure. I wish that they made an Eric Rowan this style. Maybe not this exact attire, but just this style in elite form. Now that he's back in WWE in the White 6 now. Right here, we have Typhoon Elite right here. This is the original. You can tell by the play damage and doesn't have double jointed arms. Right here, we have the basic Chase Johnny Gargano. Right here, we have Ultimate Edition Series, I don't know, Triple H. This is the greatest hits as well, I think. Right here we have this Drew McIntyre Survivor Series 2020 Elite. Right there. Right here I have this Chase Basic Candice LeRae. Right there. Next up here we have the Elite Series something something Blue Tista. You can tell by the pinned elbows, not the double jointed ones. Right here we have this Championship Showdown Basic Edge right here. This came with Kane in a 2-pack. Right here we have Eddie Guerrero Legends Series 7 or something. Right there, maybe Series 8. Right here we have this Jack Specific Undertaker. I really like this Taker right here. I don't know, it's just a really unique biker Taker, and if you need one, this would be a very nice one. Not to, like, pose around or anything, but, like, just to have a biker Taker. Right here we have this Elite Demon Finn Balor right here. Pretty cool figure right there. Next up right here, we have this basic Championship Showdown Jimmy Uso. Right there. Next up here, we have this Elite something something Dean Ambrose. This might have came with the Shield 3-pack or something. I'm not too sure. Next up right here, we have Stephanie McMahon. WrestleMania 36 basic. Next up right here, we have Shawn Michaels. Defining Moments right there. Next up, we have this bald Menace Randy Orton right here. 09. Next up right here, we have the Elite Series 94 Edge. Right there. Next up here, we have the basic blue Finn Balor. Again, another Finn Balor that I wish that they would make in Elite form. Right here, we have the British Bulldog basic that came with Big Boss Man and a Championship Showdown pack, surprisingly enough. Even though I think that was for, like, the Hardcore Championship or something and not even a world title. But to each their own, I guess. Next up right here, we have this Elite Series 110 Roman Reigns. This is not the top picks or the greatest hits right here. Next up right here, we have this basic Big Cass. This was his first ever figure. Right there. Next up right here, we have Brock Lesnar. Right there. I think that's the GameStop exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. Right there. Next up here, we have John Cena. Elite Series 95 or something. Or no, this is the top picks. Not the Elite Series 95. Right here, we have R-Truth. Elite right here. Really like that figure right there. My only R-Truth. Right here, we have this Elite Series 91. Hulk Hogan. Right there. Next up right here, we have Daniel Bryan. Elite Series like 30 or something. Right here, we have Roman Reigns, basic, right there. Next up here, we have Dean Ambrose, right here. This is like Elite Series 36 or something. Next up right here, we have Elite Series 109, Seth Rollins. Again, not the greatest hits. Next up right here, we have Elite Series 99, Brock Lesnar, not the Chase. Next up right here, we have the Elite Series 26, Ultimate Warrior. Next up here, we have Elite Series 86, Psycho Sid. Rest in peace, Sid Justice. Next up right here, we have Big Van Vader right here. Legend Series 10, I believe. Maybe 12, I don't know. Right here, we have the 2-pack, Mr. T versus Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper. Right there. Next up, we have another Roddy Piper. This is Legend Series 12. Right there. Next up right here, we have the Elite Series 100 Chase Andre the Giant. Right here with the green and pink. Next up right here, we have the Ultimate Warrior Basic Series 140-something Chase. I forget. I think it's like 145 or something Chase right here. Next up right here, we have Monday Night Wars Series 1, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I haven't been able to find any of the other Monday Night War figures, except I did see the Greatest Hits figures, but I don't know. Right here, we have the Ultimate Edition Series 8, I believe, Ric Flair, right there. Next up here, we have Chris Jericho, Unrivaled Series 4, I think, the Luminaries Collection. Right here we have Elite Series 89 Sergeant Slaughter right there. Next up right here we have the WrestleMania 37 Elite. I just said AJ Styles. Shawn Michaels, not AJ Styles. Oh my gosh. Next up right here we have the Basic Series 145 or something, Karrion Kross, maybe 143, I'm not sure. Next up right here, we have the infamous Elite Series 60 Giant Machine or Andre the Giant that I have famously broke twice. This is my third one. Next up right here, we have the Ultimate Edition Monday Night Wars Series 2, Eddie Guerrero, right there. Next up right here, we have the Ringside Collectibles exclusive Ultimate Warrior Elite right here. Next up right here, we have the Elite Series 9 Randy Orton right there. Next up right here, we have the Legends Series 8, I think, Jake the Snake Roberts right there. Next up here, we have a Basic Championship Showdown Stone Cold Steve Austin right there. Next up here, we have the Warlord. Thank you, Rewind, for this one. This was my first ever figure that I won from Rewind. This is like a collector's edition, I think. Elite 84 or something, Warlord. Right here, we have the Elite Series 100 regular Andre the Giant right there. The brown jacket. Next up right here, we have the Defining Moments Hulk Hogan right here. Nothing too special. Kind of like every other Hulk Hogan that we've had. Next up right here, we have the Legends Series 13, Jake the Snake Roberts right there. That is the regular. I seen the chase, but I didn't know which one was the regular and which one was the chase, so I picked up that one. That's kind of unfortunate. Next up here, we have the Legends Series 21, I think, Andre the Giant. Series 21. Next up right here, we have this Top Picks Rey Mysterio right here from when he returned at the Royal Rumble in 2018 or 2019, I think. Next up right here, we have first time in the line Basic Enzo Amore. Came in the 2-pack with the big cast that I showed earlier. Next up right here, we have It's Sting! Right here. This is a Toy Biz WCW Sting right there. Next up here, we have the Defining Moments Cody Rhodes. This is not the re-release. Right there, the torn pec. One of my favorite figures. Next up here, we have the Elite Series 83 Dusty Rhodes right there. Next up here, we have the Hall of Fame, I think. This came in a 2-pack with Papa Shango Ultimate Warrior right there. Next up right here, we have the phenomenal one, AJ Styles right here. This is WrestleMania 37 Elite, I do think, with the Vince Build-A-Figure. Next up right here, we have X-Pac right here, Legend Series 15, I think. Next up right here, we have Roman Reigns Ultimate Edition, Series 14, I think. Next up right here, we have the Ruthless Aggression Series 6, I think, The Rock. This was the last Ruthless Aggression series, I know that. I think it went for 6 series and my tripod almost fell. Right here, we have this Top Picks Batman Rey Mysterio right here. Next up right here, we have the Ultimate Warrior Ultimate Edition Series 15 right there. Next up here, we have, what's his name? Oh, finally, I remember his name. Oh my god, my tripod fell. Anyways, I'm sorry about that. Oh boy, we keep bloopers in here on this channel. Neville, Basic, right there. WrestleMania something something. The Paul Bear Build-A-Figure. Next up right here, we have Mr. T from the Mr. T and Roddy Piper 2-pack. Next up here, we have Mankind, Series 2 of the Monday Night Wars Ultimate Editions. Next up here, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is the Championship Showdown 2-pack with Triple H, that I showed earlier. Next up right here, we have the My Via Legacy 3-pack, Rocky Johnson, Or, yeah, Soul Man Rocky Johnson right there. Make sure to check your Walmarts, guys. At my Walmart, the 3-pack is $30. So, just make sure that you check out your Walmarts. Next up right here, we have this basic Matt Hardy right there. Next up here, we have this Eric Rowan basic. One of the worst figures in my collection because you can't even move the arms hardly. Next up right here, we have Rusev Elite right there. Pretty cool Rusev. I got that from my boy LWC. Next up right here, we have Montez Ford Elite Series 81 right there. Next up, right here, let me get another handful of figures out of my bin. Next up here, we got this other Top Picks Rey Mysterio from the LWO set, right there. Not from the LWO, like, 5-pack, but, like, LWO attire. You know what I mean. Next up right here, we have this basic Luke Harper. Rest in peace. Next up right here, we have this basic Shawn Michaels, right there. Next up, we have first time in the line, Elite Series 47, AJ Styles. AJ's first figure right there. Next up, here we have a basic Roman Reigns, right here, the Big Dog Unleashed. Next up here, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin, Milkomania 3-pack. Next up here, we have a Chase basic Shelton Benjamin right there. Next up here, we have the Big Show, Paul White, the Giant right here. This might be the last figure. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. Right here, we have the last loose figure. The last loose figure of this video, which is the Doink the Clown Ultimate Edition New Generation Arena figure. Right there. Now, I don't have very many mock figures, but I will show the very few that I do have right here. We have the Legend Series 16 Chase Molly Holly right here. Next up right here, we have the Elite Series 99 Chase Boogeyman right here. Pretty cool figure right there with the face paint. Next up right here, we have the Jakks Classic Superstars. Mean Gene Okerlund right there. I don't know. It shows that he has a black tie right here, but on the actual figure, he has a red tie. So, I'm not exactly sure if this is like a packaging error, if it's some kind of variant or something. You guys let me know about that one. And then lastly, right here, for the last figure of the Zeb Burleson 2024 collection video, we have the 4 Horsemen Hall of Fame 4-pack right here, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, that was the Zeb Burleson 2024 action figure collection. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully, we'll see you guys on the next one. Deuces, ooses, and a happy new year.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Eat the cat, eat the cat, eat the cat, eat the cat.
Seeing red, so don't push.